Howdy all McGlax Lives. I think it's time to play a little 7 Days to Die. Oh, yes. I forgot that I had ended after dying without placing down a bed. Right. So I've got a slow crawling trek because I'm loaded down with loot. Uh, so, um, I guess as my normal habit, we'll talk about my D&D game this week. This week was the other guy's game. Uh, and change things up. My one nephew, he wanted to play games with me, and so I asked him if he wanted to join us for the Final Fantasy MMO we've been playing, and if he wanted to play D&D, because I know he likes to play D&D. He agreed, and so he joined the party this week, and our DM has removed his character from the group. Didn't stop him from controlling what we do. Uh, there were a couple instances of this is what your characters do, and let me move these guys into the room, uh, which he does a lot, anyways. I'd kind of hope that with his character gone, he'd pull back on that behavior a little bit, but that definitely, don't I have some coffee on me? I do not. I do have some things I could probably get rid of, though, right? Uh, it'll let me move things around. If I drink this goldenrod tea. Um, well, that's about it, but let me move a little. I don't need these nails. I can scrap these nails. Those are easy enough to make. I can do without this. There we go. That gets me down to one item. That speeds me up quite a bit. But we, it's hard to know what the DM wants us to do. I mean, not that you should play your games doing what the DM necessarily wants you to do. You shouldn't go. You shouldn't go against the DM. You shouldn't be thinking, "Oh, I'm gonna disrail the DM's plans." That shouldn't be your goal. Um, but you look at it like your character is reacting to what happens in the world, and so it can be difficult to keep uh, the meta level of things out of it. Like right, what's happening, but your character might not know what's happening. And so you want to try and make your character react like your character would react with the knowledge your character has access to. Now, obviously, because you know it's a game that you're playing and you're controlling the character, some of what's going to go down has to be what you know and not necessarily what the character knows. And Puzzles and traps and things that you have to figure out are going to have to be based on what you can figure out. So there's no way to react as a character. Well, I think the character would know how to solve this, right? That's not a thing that happens. Uh, and So there's a little bit of that in there where you don't have a choice but to react from the meta level. But knowing where your DM is guiding you and then deciding not to do it because whatever isn't necessarily always the best plan. And I'm not saying that happened last night at all. On the other hand, from the DM's point of view, if your players don't go where you want them to go, it's not necessarily that they're going against what you are trying to do. It might be they don't understand what you were trying to get them to do. And so, so for example, we started last night. We finished the um, we finished the previous session by tricking this. Oh, is dumb. I don't know if it's in the book or not. I didn't look, but uh, this. So we're in an academy of magic, but it's evil magics. And when our DM read all that, he decided it had to be evil Harry Potter's. Or evil Hogwarts Harry Potter is a person, not a place. And so uh, that's what he's got. That's what he's calling what's going on, basically. And we we don't have any magic users on the team. I mean, we do, but we don't have that kind of magic user. You can't send a bard to a school of magic because that's not how a bard works with spells. I mean, I guess if you take the game out, uh, a bard would probably learn magic by going to some kind of school. But mechanically, in the game, mechanically, on the meta level, the bard does not learn magic from books um, and scrolls and things like that. So it doesn't do a bard any good to be at magic school. Uh, and for whatever reason, the DM really wants us at this magic school. And I personally am worried that he's got some weird plan about what he wants to happen because it's evil Hogwarts. The problem is that he's not conveying to us any kind of information that lets us know what he's expecting to happen. And so we had a moment last night, right at the beginning, where we opened the door and we run into a person from this school, and she she wants to know what we're doing there. We told her we were exterminators, um, and dang it, I hate when that happens. And because we had been sent to remove this bone devil that got summoned, and so she didn't introduce herself. She just mentioned that the guy who had summoned the bone devil was an idiot and didn't know. I feel like this is like I don't think they could not know where this was happening. It wasn't a secret that it was happening. People knew it was happening. So I don't understand why nobody could direct us to where it was happening. It doesn't make any sense. It was in the conjuration circles for the school. That's where it took place. So clearly, in this small school that we're in, you know, if if when I was teaching, you walked in and you said, "Where's the English department?" I would be able to go, "It's over there." But you know what? I don't teach in the English department. but I'm still aware that the English department exists and about where it's at. And so none of these people seem to know what's going on in their own school. Nope, that doesn't go in here. And so I find that weird, that nobody knows what's going on. But that, of course, is my DM. It is hands down my DM's inability to improvise on what's going on. Oh man, we're so close to having that completed finally. All right, let's go ahead and grab my spare bicycle so that I don't have to run all the way over to where I left my... I should probably just keep this in my inventory, to be honest. Though I just have it with me. You want to put that down? Thank you. So... yeah. So she didn't know where it was at and just went on her way. And so we started going south because we were told it was in the southwest. And so that was the goal, to go southwest until we found it. And she said it was south of the pens. And so we opened the door and there's jail. I don't know if she meant that was pens. I don't know. I tried calling it a pen, and then I was corrected by the DM that it was a jail. And there were some goblins in there, and there was this halfling dude who was basically unconscious. And the goblins were like, "We don't want to be experimented on anymore. Rescue us." And we're not good people. We're not heroes in this story. There isn't a goal. We haven't been sent to rescue anybody. It's my big problem with this particular adventure is that there's no story to it. I like a good story. I love the fighting in the game, but I also want a good story. And this particular adventure does not have one in the hands of my DM. We are simply moving from floor to floor. And so I'm like, okay, look, here's the deal. This is what I tell my party. Here's the deal. This guy looks like he belongs to the city we come from. And we could rescue him. But if we rescue him, then we will be forced to fight everybody on this floor. Not that we haven't killed almost everybody on every floor before this, but I'm just saying, if we're going to do this, it's going to turn into a big fight, probably. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with killing everything that moves. That's fine. We're not murder hobos. It sounds like it. We're really not. We try to... Oh. No, this is a Shotgun Messiah. I was thinking for a second this was a bookstore. I wish it was a bookstore. My mini bike is straight ahead. Okay. And, oh, I should have got some more... I should have got some more ammo. Dang it. So... we do try to talk to, like, everybody who talks. And it almost always ends in a fight anyways. But, you know, I'm like, so these people are evil, obviously. We're aware they're evil. Are we just pushing through the next floor? Or do you want to... Oh, geez. No, no, bad doggy. Do you want to just get out of here? And so we have found the exit now. We did find the exit. It's super crazy. Like, so we try to talk to the people and they attack us, and then I did open the book last night because I was curious as to what exactly was going on a little bit. And the one section I read was after we had hit the entrance. These demons are there, and it says that if you're not accompanied by a member of the school, then I gotta go back and get ammo. I can't do this without ammunition. But if you aren't accompanied by the school, then they attack you. And so the one thing that's not supposed to attack, or the one thing that is supposed to attack us, doesn't. And so I can only assume things that weren't supposed to attack us have. And but yeah, I mean, it was a pretty basic night, other than being moved into rooms and being told that we opened doors and stuff. Um, and we did go. Um, so one of the things that happens is my DM, he loves natural 20s, and it's cool to get a crit, but he loves them to the point that he thinks that every time you roll one, something special happens. And I, I, I don't hate it, but I hate that he places such importance on it that sometimes if you don't get at least a natural 20, then you don't get anything. That's how much. On the opposite end, though, then he says that, one is a failure, um, regardless of what you're doing. And it's not how the game is supposed to work. And so I could definitely do without that. But we entered this room, and this spiritual, ghostly skull appeared and yelled that we weren't the owner of the room we entered, and then flung us up in the air. And so I threw I threw out a um, I threw out a dispel magic on it, because I tend to do that when we run into something like this. I try to get rid of it, and I rolled a natural 20 on whether or not it worked. And so because I rolled a natural 20, he made it work extra well. And so it was only supposed to go away for a minute, I think he said. But because I rolled a natural 20, he permanently dispelled it. And um, and all the magic locks that were behind it that it was guarding. Which is cool, because then we didn't have to try to get those open. But we didn't really get anything for it. And I mean, I guess we got a quest item. We did have a quest. We were supposed to get a book and bring it back to Snowflake Potter, as he's being called. Um, which we didn't get to because it got too late. But yeah, it was, I don't know. We had to fight a golem, and we had to fight the Bone Devil. We did find the Bone Devil finally. We entered the room and talked to the ghost. Did we talk to the ghost? No. I don't think we talked to a ghost, but there was a bloody message where the dude who had summoned the bone devil, was on the floor, and he's like, I hate that woman, whatever her name was, and I'm like, oh, that was probably that woman that we moved past, and the DM's like, you don't know that. I'm like, nope, I surely don't know that, but she did call this guy an idiot, so I felt like they had bad blood between them, and since she called him an idiot, maybe she's the one that he hated. Um, and so it turned out that the demon had been summoned to kill whoever the woman was that my DM says I don't know that it's that woman that we passed. And it tried to make a deal with us, but it wasn't a good deal. There was no, like... Dang, this guy's moving. It was like... well, our thief, he spoke up real quick when the devil said it wanted to make a deal, and said that he wanted the devil to serve us for 10 years. Which, oh geez, get away, kitty, get away. Oh geez, get away, bear, get away. Dang it. Oh man. The bear trounced me. I thought it was leaving. It wasn't leaving. So, the, yeah, I don't know. It played out all right last night. It wasn't too bad. I've definitely had nights that made me angrier, for sure. I didn't really get too angry last night. I know the one guy posted or sent me a message. Oh look, we got surprised again. Which sort of happened. The spirit skull gets to go on 30 and 15 on the initiative roll. So it got to go first. Basically, it's designed that it almost always gets to go first. And so it did hit us a little bit for like 10 points of damage. But we did go upper level, which is awesome. It's one of my favorite fighter levels. It's weird that it's my favorite fighter level, but it does let me attack 3 times in a turn, which is pretty awesome. And that's it. That's really all it does. My bard got a new spell level, but the spells on that level are not my kind of spells. They weren't terrible or anything. It's just they weren't in theme with my bard. So we had seen this dude who had been turned to stone, and when I was looking through the spells, one of the spells that I could get, Greater Restoration, says that it removes petrification, which is turn to stone. And so I grabbed that spell, and so then the DM's like, what did you all do? And so I told him, I'm like, yeah, I grabbed Greater Restoration. He's like, oh, you gonna try to bring that guy back, are you? I'm like, yeah, I wanted to see what happened because it said that he had been turned to stone because the school disagreed with him. Don't break the rules like this guy, I think is what it said underneath his thing. And then the DM's like, he's not in the book, so I'm like, okay, that's and that's not how D&D works. If it's not in the book, then you got to make it up. And he's like, well, let me see. And he's like, you know what? It says that he was turned to stone by a wish. So I'm gonna say that your greater restoration wouldn't be strong enough to break it. I'm just gonna tell you that ahead of time before you waste a spell slot trying to bring him out of it. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks for ruining the game for me again in yet another way. Is this not where? Jeez, oh Pete, it's the. This place is too many animals in this town. Look, seriously. Oh, dang it. Yep. This is awful, man. Awful. I guess you might as well just give me the rest of those bullets, because I guess it's not the rest of them, but I'm definitely sucking this up today. Good thing I picked back up my bike. Should have put down a bedroll. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, didn't. But yeah, so it'll be interesting with the new player and changing up the things a little bit. We got started a little late. I didn't get finished with my stuff for the day until close to 9, as it was, and then we chit-chatted a bit. So it was close to 10 before we got D&D started, and then the other guys got, the one guy's got to leave around 11:45, and so we really only played for like an hour and a half. Which is why we really got nothing done. I mean, we went in, we fought a bone devil, we went over, we talked to some demons, or devils, whatever they were, and then we fought that stone golem, went up our level, went our way. I did try out a couple of new games this week. One's called Vargas, which seems pretty cool so far. It's a RPG kind of turn-based thing. It's very storybook. And what I mean by that is like there's a lot of reading in a book in the game, and but the fights are turn-based. I'm still trying to figure it out a little bit, but it seems interesting. It's set in a world where magic destroyed everything, and the the there was an empire, and the empire destroyed everything and was conquering everything, and the gods grew angry and destroyed the empire, which was most of the world. And so after the gods left, the survivors came up out of the wreckage and rebuilt a new civilization. Except that whatever it is the gods had done had mutated things, and so there's I don't know where I'm going. Apparently, I'm just leaving on my bike. Okay, let's plop this down right here. I see that cat coming. Okay, and then we got zombie coming. Zombies coming from everywhere. Okay. So that was pretty cool so far. I'm just doing the tutorial mission still. It's not an easy game, but you play a Vargas, which is a caravan master, and so I have like I don't know. There's workers and slaves and fighters and scouts and you've got some lieutenants and oh jeez, and uh, and your caravan in the tutorial is just about to the point where it's out of money, and so your plan is to take some scrap metal, which is worth a lot of money, and sell it. And so I ended up rescuing this dude. Which I don't know if it I don't know how the tutorial goes. I don't know if it's got like different things that can happen, because I didn't have to rescue the dude I rescued, and turns out he's New Empire guy. There's a New Empire, and so as a civilian, I'm not allowed to disobey his orders, I guess. And so he has ordered me to help him out, and so you gotta be really careful, make sure you have enough supplies and things like that, and weapons and soldiers, and it takes time to heal. You can't heal in battles. It's definitely not an easy kind of game, for sure. But it was pretty good. I played it quite a bit today, which is why it took me so long to get done with work today. I only had a couple hours of work to do today, and it took me all day because I couldn't stop playing that game. And then the other game that I was trying was Valheim, which I'm not sure about. I like survival games. Obviously, I'm playing one right now, and I'm trying to like Valheim. I like some of the ideas in it, but it doesn't have first person, Oh, jeez. It doesn't have first person, and the fact that it doesn't have first person makes it difficult for me. I mean, obviously, I'm terrible at this game, but it makes it difficult for me to get through the hunting aspect of the game because it's hard to aim the spear in third person. You'd think that it's kind of like this game. Well, I mean it's nothing like this game, but what I mean is like you swing a club and you imagine that the club is going to hit everything along the path that the club is swinging, right? And so um, it's a little bit like that in the fact that you uh, you th- uh, you stab with your spear, and so you expect the guy to stab where you're aiming, but he doesn't. He stabs in the direction you've aimed, but not where you've aimed. And so the problem that leads to is that I have to have 20. This is what I'm struggling with. I have to have 20 leather scraps to build the thing I want to build, and they only come off of boars. And so boars are only about waist high. And they take, for me right now, because of the skill system in the game, they take 2 stabs most of the time for me to kill, which is fine. The problem is that even though I am aimed directly at the boar, it does not stab down into the boar. It stabs over top of the boar because it just stabs forward. I'm gonna name this the Town of the Animals, man. And so I'm struggling to get the 20 scraps of leather I need to complete the next crafting tool, which is a tanning rack. I don't know why a tanning rack needs 20 pieces of leather, because a tanning rack should be the same materials that's used to make my cooking thing. I can't think what that's called off the top of my head. The spit. It would be the same thing as a spit. Literally just something to drape your hide over so that it dries out. I guess maybe it's for stretching. You need all leather. I guess it makes sense. But yeah, so I'm struggling a bit with that game. If it was in first person and it hit where I aimed, I'd be a lot farther in the game than I am for sure. But unfortunately, I can't seem to get a handle on the stabby controls, and so I haven't got. Oh, jeez. I was gonna stop at that place, but you see that cougar butt sticking out? Another cougar right there. Mountain lion, puma, whatever it is. Have I been in this place? So anyways, yeah, that's it's a couple of games that I have been, yeah, I've been in here. That's a couple of games I've been trying out this week. And my D&D session for yesterday. All right, with that, I'm going to call it a day. So be better than the little things. Lean into the light. I will talk to you later.